I wanted to say that thank you for all your prayers and good wishes. As it turns out, your prayers have been answered. As you can see, I'm back in the driver's seat again, and well, I'm not gonna be talking New England right now. I'm just gonna say this just like they all say it around here. I'm gonna say, as it turns out, I was so darn busy paying attention to this phone that I done totally forgot to gas up, and I run out of gas. So I haven't run out of gas since I was 15 years old. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't have driver's license then. Oh yeah, but that is about the last time I run out of gas, and the only time. And man, I felt so foolish. But I had a can of Seafoam in the back, so I put that in the gas tank because she was plumb dry, man. And that got me about a mile, at least to the exit, within sight of a Sheetz, and within walking distance, but not to the Sheetz parking lot. So I got it pulled off the road enough. It wasn't in a very good spot, but so there was a guy there that was panhandling, running a sign, as they say, you know, for money, but he wasn't being really aggressive or nothing, anything. And it just seemed like, you know, that area, especially too, it's kind of a rich area. People were just, you know, really happy to be giving them money. At least while I was there, 3 or 4 people who pulled up in their cars did. But so he came over, and I'm like, oh well, I don't know what I can do for him right now. I can't really give him a ride, but I'll do what I can. And so I shook his hand. I told him my name was Jeffrey, and he said his name was Boots. And he said, do you know what's wrong with it? I said, well, honest to goodness, I think I done run out of gas. And he said, gas? Oh, you need gas? Wait a minute, I've got some over here. And he said, don't go nowhere. And I was like, well, I don't think I can, you know. So anyways, he came back with an actual gas can, a little gas can, and he put some gas in it for me. And he said, I'll just wait here to make sure it starts. And, you know, I was moving the place, clearing off the passenger seat so I could bring him up the Sheetz or somewhere, wherever he wanted. And he said, no, look, I'm going to go put this gas back, but I'll be back just in case it doesn't start up, and I'll go get it again. We'll put some more in. And so I said, well, all right. So it started up with the bit of gas that he put in. So I drove it up to Sheetz, A little rough at first, but it made it. This does not look like the way I usually go. East 64, yeah, that's it, okay. So I didn't really have time, or didn't know how long he's going to be there, so I didn't really have time, I figured, to do that made to order, you know, turkey special or anything like that. So I grabbed a couple tuna sandwiches, a chicken salad sandwich, and some chips, cheese, and stuff like that, Pepsi. I threw them in a bag with the sweatshirt, hat, a couple other things. And I went looking for him. I parked right where I parked, where it was parked before. And I seen where he went into the woods. And so I crossed the road, and I was calling for him. And sure enough, they got a little tent village in there, you know, and he wasn't there because I didn't have any cash on me. All I had was a Ziploc bag full of change that I was going to bring to the bank and, you know, put in the bank machine that they got there. You can put all your change in. It separates them out and everything, you know. So, I mean, I must have had, there's a quite a bit, quarters and everything. So anyway, he was probably hiding that or something. But so I walked across the street. I went up this trail. I seen the tent village, and one guy came out. He was a little bit hostile at first, and I told him my name's Jeffrey, and I'm a friend of Boots, and I just got something for him because he helped me with some gas. And then he turned nice. He was, oh, okay, yeah. He said, well, I can give it to him. I didn't really trust him that much, but I didn't have much choice. So I left a couple bags, just a couple things with him, and so hopefully we'll all get a blessing for that too, because y'all were chipping in with your prayers too. And I know anything you can do like that, you get the blessing, no matter what the people do with it, even if they spend it on drugs or, use it for, going to Dollar General, buying some glue, sniffing some glue, whatever, paint. Whatever they do with it, you still get the blessing from it. At least that's what Pastor told me, and I've heard him say in church more than once, and my wife used to say it a lot. And I think that's why those people were all so eager to hand them money out of their Mercedes and Tesla windows, because they figured they were getting the blessing. I don't know. I look at things a little skeptically sometimes, but anyways, so I'm back on the road and I'm headed home. I should be home in about an hour, and praise the Lord. Wow, he gave me 2 blessings today, because it died out the same way it died out on the parkway, but it had plenty of gas in it then, and so I just wanted to thank you all for any prayers you might have said, and, let you know that one way or another they've been answered. I figure my wife, Jackie, she passed away last year. I figure she's probably an angel working for God, or working for Jesus, or, someone up there. Jesus might not be her direct boss, but she might, be assistant to Michael the Archangel or something like that. Anyways, so sometimes I feel like she's watching over me, a little bit. Yeah. Well, so I just wanted to tell you all that. And bless you all. I really do love y'all and care about y'all. I hadn't gotten any subscribers. I do now have a few, because I did do that one little video about it that I forgot to say it in all my videos, but so I just made that little video saying, if anyone wanted to do a like, thumbs up, or subscribe, they sure could. Even if they couldn't keep their subscription there for a whole long time, at least doing it for a little while I think helps. I'm not sure about that, but so thank you all. I hope you all take care. I'm not sure. Gotta pay attention to the road a little bit. Well, I guess I'll just leave this going for now. And I think I took the wrong turn. I went straight. I should have turned. But there's a ton of Raleigh traffic. I'll show you. There we go. Oop. It seems like it's not going to work. And then when you hit it again, then it does work. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. Let's see. Okay, Capitol Boulevard. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I believe I'm just going completely in the opposite direction. I think I gotta turn around. I don't know. Andy and Sheriff Taylor, on Andy and Mayberry, he used to say that sometimes to Barnes. I'm going down to Raleigh. I'm going down to take care of some business in Raleigh. Capitol Boulevard. I don't want to get on the Capitol, but I got to turn around. So I'm going to do it. South, North, Lewisburg. This is entirely not the right way. I really want to get on the Capitol. And I reckon I will. And I still might not be going the right way. Well, I guess all you gotta do is stop paying attention for just a little bit and not be paying enough attention to the road, and especially at night when it's dark like this and there's all this traffic in Raleigh on the weekend. It's easy to get turned around. The most important thing is not for anyone to get hurt, you know. Make sure you don't get hurt. Okay. I'll go over here. Okay, this looks like a turnaround place. Yeah, that's good enough. Look at all that traffic. Okay, now. Okay. Boston driver coming through. Alright, now let's see. 440 East Rocky Mount, a quarter mile. Alright, well, a quarter mile, it would be nice if they said what side it was going to be on. Or at least with an arrow or something. Now let's see, there it is. Okay, they got an arrow on this one. 440 East Rocky Mountain. It's a good thing we turned around when we did. Alright. Turn that back around so y'all can see the road. Maybe have a little driving motor hum sound, ASML. Autonomic sensory meridian response. I had never heard of those words before. I'll tell you how I found out about it. The ASMR, Autonomic Sensory Meridian Response. Because after my wife died last year, a little over a year, I couldn't sleep at all. And I had no appetite whatsoever. I couldn't. It's not like when people say they don't have any appetite. It's not like you're just not hungry, or you're full, or you're stuffed from eating a Thanksgiving dinner. It's not even like that. It's like you just can't eat when you lose your appetite because of grief like that. Food was disgusting to me. I couldn't stand the thought of it. I didn't want to put anything in my body except for a little water or maybe a little juice every few days. And I was losing weight like crazy. But I couldn't eat and I couldn't sleep. And I already had a problem sleeping, you know, because of security issues. But, so what I used to do is put on, you know, I like the train sound, all different kinds of trains, locomotive trains, steam trains. I mean, what little boy doesn't love trains, you know? It's in the same category as like fire trucks or something. So, anyways, I like putting on the train sound, and on YouTube, these guys do it real good. They make it sound like you're right on the train, and it has the rumbling sound and everything. And then I realized that I could actually mix that. There are people on YouTube that combine riding on a train in a thunder and lightning storm. Ha! Snap! Wow, man. I mean, yeah, I thought it didn't get much better than that. until I I saw a few of these ladies that do the ASMR for the first time, and not that they're just beautiful. I mean, they are beautiful. They're very lovely, very good looking, gorgeous, and you know, Sarah, and Sherry, and Divinity, and you know, Elena, all of them, and but they're just good at it too. I mean, boy, Sherry is the best hypnotist I've ever seen, and that's because that's part of what she has to do for a really tough case when someone's in a lot of pain, or they just can't sleep, or they won't eat, they can't eat, you know, the issues that I was having. But she's careful not to hypnotize you too much, you know. Anyway, I owe all those ladies quite a debt of gratitude the way I see it. And so that's the name of that too. And still on the highway. I guess I can let us watch the Raleigh traffic and look at the signs. Hope I'm not boring you all to pieces. I sure could be. I sure could be. 40 East. Wilmington, yeah. Any of y'all been to Wilmington? Wilmington is a great town. That's where they filmed, well, lots of TV shows. This one called Dawson's Creek, and several others. The Outer Banks, of course, because it's at the Outer Banks. And that was a pretty popular show, though, a couple of years ago. And all the Nicholas Sparks books, movies of his books. And I don't know if y'all ever heard of Nicholas Sparks, but he's a writer about North Carolina beach area things. And I never actually read his books before. I'm more of a sci-fi type of reader and technical things. But I have read some fiction stuff, but not really that big on Nicholas Sparks. I love Jane Austen. I love the Jane Austen books and the movies made from those books. You know, and her sister. But anyway, that's a story for another time. And I got one light blinking over here, check engine light, but I think that's because these new truck motors, it's an SUV, but really it's a truck with an SUV part on the back. But these truck motors aren't anything at all like the motors, the gas-powered motors. These aren't gas-powered, but they are so much more electrically powered than any motor ever used to be when I was young. You know, there used to be such a thing called a Chevy V8 engine. 327 was the number of inches, and that's was my first motor in my first car, which was a 1966 Chevrolet Impala. And then I had 3 or 4 other Impalas after that, and one of them had a 350 in it instead of a 327-inch motor. But either way, I could pull them motors out, pull those motors out. I'm trying to talk more correct, you know. So anyway, I could pull those motors out and take them apart, put them back together again, put them back in, you know, rebuild the carburetor, whatever. But now, this thing doesn't even have a carburetor. There's no such thing as carburetors in cars anymore. most of the parts that were on those motors that I was just talking about don't exist in car motors of today. Don't exist in the car motors anymore. You know, like I just got a few other things, and it charged $200. Now, this is someone that the members at the church recommended, the mechanic. You know, that's what they said. They all take all their vehicles too, and the church vehicles too. So I figured I could trust him, you know. But I think he changed all 6 spark plugs. He was just going to do one, because that's another thing. Back when I was younger, if we were going to change a spark plug, we'd just change all 6, because chances are if one starts to go bad, then the others are too. And there was a thing called wires that are attached to the end of the spark plugs that go into the motor. And while we were at it, we'd just go ahead and change those wires too. And that's called a tune-up. That's a basic tune-up. Plugs and wires. And so I was talking to him about that, you know, when I was picking up my car. And he said, well, you know, there's no such thing as wires, as those kind of spark plug wires in cars anymore either. You know? And I told him, no, I sure did not know that. And he showed me what it was, and that's called a coil that the spark plug goes into, and that was about $50, I guess, or maybe more, I don't know, but that added to the whole cost of it. And he had to do a couple other little things. You know, the oil was low, which I'm very surprised about, because I check it all the time, because I put my own additives in it, I drain some out, and I replace them with like certain high quality additives. Anyway, so cars nowadays, car motors, like this car I'm in here, and even this one's kind of old. I didn't buy it brand new, but they're not the kind of motors that I'm used to. But the last time I drove down to my mom's 88. See, I'm 64, but anyway, so she lives down in Alabama, in Daphne, Alabama, and I'm not going to say her name because my family hears it. I'll get in trouble, you know. I shouldn't even say where she lives. Just cancel, forget all about that. Anyway, it could be anywhere. I didn't say her address or her name, so the car started running a little rough last time I drove down there. I should have been at the turnoff already, unless I'm already on Route 64. Anyways, so it started running a little rough, so I brought it to the mechanic that she said her friends go to, which was a Firestone down there. And the man said it was a vapor lock thing that I never heard of in a car motor. And he replaced that, and that cost, cost $135 just for him to put the machine on to figure out what was wrong with it. But he told me in advance that's what it was going to be. I really didn't have much choice. And, it was almost $2,000. And this light was blinking as a result of it. So when I got back up here, I brought it to O'Reilly's Auto Parts. And the man came out with the motor analyzer box that they all have. It's all different ones. And he said, yeah, it's saying vapor lock thing. And I was like, what? I just had that replaced down in Alabama, and it cost a lot of money. And he said, oh, well, really? He said, okay, well, a lot of times, see, there's a switch on them. And if they don't flip that switch after they replace them, then that light will still keep flickering on and off, that check engine light. But it doesn't mean anything except that they forgot to reset it. So that's probably what it is. So I'm hoping that that's why this check engine light is blinking like that. Just because that switch was never reset from when I had that vapor lock thing done, fixed rather. And I hope it's nothing more. I don't think it is. So, praise the Lord, we're doing good now. And let's see if I can turn that around. Yep, hey, there I am again. Can't see me that good though. Let's see if I can flip over into this lane here because this is the correct lane. I have to put my glasses on because at night I can't read the signs. And this is a dark spot here. Wow. Woo. Okay. Well, you really can't see my face. I might as well put that back over. There we go. And come on, Route 64. What is taking so long? I better just concentrate on the road for a little bit now. I'm sorry if I bored you all to pieces. Bored you into a coma. I don't associate with very many other people. I associated with Boots today, homeless guy. You know, that was all right. He helped me out, and I think I helped him out. That's the way it should be. Carytown Boulevard? I hope not. Well, anyway, definitely went the wrong way. I just hope I can trust them. I've been following the signs. Run out of gas again before I get on the right road. I'm tired too. I'm starting to get a little tired now. Okay, 40 West. How are we on the completely wrong road again? I need to be on 40 East, not 40 West. So now I've got to turn around again. And I was on 40 East. Because I think you all remember the sign said Wilmington. And you only get there by going Route 40 East. So, turn it around. But I thought I was already on Route 64. This reminds me of one time when I was up in Maine. And you can ask people for directions in Maine, and most of the time they'll just tell you, oh, you can't get there from here. No, well, there's a way, but you gotta go up there and take a left where the old schoolhouse used to be before it burnt down and they built the new one. And that's the way people talk in Maine. Not to make fun of them or anything like that. Hell no. I mean, heck no. I'm just saying, that's, you know, that's just the way people talk in Maine, that's all. Okay, now look, that car better get out of the way because I'm pulling over there. When an old Boston driver's got his directional on, that means he's coming into that lane. You know? Just don't fight it. Just, you know, I'll give them time. I'm patient, but if I put my directional turn signal on, and instead of someone just lifting up off the accelerator a little bit, just for half a split second, they stomp on the gas, then my patience is going to be just a little bit less. You know, it's like, man, all you have to do is ease up on the gas just a hair. You know, you seen I had my directional on, and you saw I had my directional on. But when they see that and then they gun it like that, well, that's just plain rude. You know, driving. You're supposed to have manners when you're driving. Okay. Now we're seeing the wrong thing again, so. And I know I just turned around, so. East 40. I better get over here. East 440. East 40, East 64, Wally Wilmington. Here we go again. Does that sign look familiar? There you go. Well, I must have just totally bored everyone right off of this line. I don't really know what y'all can see. I guess you can see what's on my phone screen. I hope. I know when Sherry's doing hers, she's usually sitting in the middle of her living room, and that's what you can see, because that's what her cameras are focused on. But this is a little different, me switching back and forth like that I've been doing. East 40, East 64. Well, if that is true, then I'm on the right road finally again. I never have any problems being on the right roads, literally. When I went into Sheetz, I got me a big half Pepsi, half Coke, and about 1/4 Dr. Pepper. I know that math doesn't exactly add up, but see, it does because I drank a little bit of it, so. That's why it adds up. Sherry likes Dr. Pepper, I think, with vanilla. Vanilla flavored Dr. Pepper. Cream flavored. Vanilla cream flavored. I like Dr. Pepper too. But I love Coke and Pepsi too. I don't drink much of them anymore because all the sugar. diabetes and whatnot. I sure am enjoying this one. And I figure I deserve it. Every once in a while, you gotta treat yourself. I think Clint Eastwood said it best in one of the Dirty Harry movies when he said, "You owe it to yourself to live a little, Harry." I guess I owe it to myself to live a little, Jeff. It's like these roads, though, they keep turning into other roads. It'll be the right road, and all of a sudden, the sign will say something different. East 40, okay. Glad I saw that one. You owe it to yourself to live a little. So that's the motto for today. And this voice sounding like Clint Eastwood, the young Clint Eastwood. You owe it to yourself to live a little. So have some ice cream or something. You know, don't put yourself into a sugar coma, but have a little. Could I have been that much further out than I knew? It's insane. Well, that little sign back there, the road marker sign, said East 40 again. That would be confirmation that I'm going. I reckon that must have been further out than I knew. I hadn't gotten close enough yet. I hadn't gotten through enough of Raleigh yet. East 64. That's it. That's what I want. Whoa, man, the guy came within a paper width of my bumper. But a lot of people drive really crazy when there's lots of traffic, weaving in and out, you know, speeding. Even when you have such a thing as the wisdom of experience from age, things still happen. You know, when I was at my dentist the other day, I came out and he was seeing me for a special checkup, so it was dark when I came out, and there was no moon, it was pitch black, and this is a relatively new vehicle for me, and I was backing up, and the blind spots on this are bad there, and it's hard to put your arm over the seat to look behind you. Anyway, I tried real well, and it was pouring rain, mean, it was a Carolina downpour, pitch black, tight spot, and I luckily wasn't going very fast, but I hit a post, but there was, the bottom of the post was wrapped up in cement, concrete, and it only came about 2 feet up high. So even looking behind me in the dark and the pouring rain, I couldn't see because my mirrors didn't go down that far. And I could see if there were any cars back there or people. But so it just bumped it a little bit. And there was a sign there, a paper sign in front of it. And so I thought, wow, it seemed like a pretty big bump for that little paper sign. And it was leaning against this concrete piece at the bottom of a light pole, which wasn't exactly a light pole, but it was like a light pole. And this way. So I looked at it, and boy, it was bad. The whole bottom of the bumper, the whole part of the bumper was all stowed in. And so I took a rubber hammer when I got home and I banged on it. And usually you can pop something out with something like that, and that didn't do a thing. So it didn't even move it at all. Oh, I see. We were way back there. Okay, so we weren't even, they were starting those signs way before the turnoffs. Anyway, okay, that makes me feel a little better. And anyway, so tapping on it with a rubber hammer or smashing it didn't do anything. You know, I got right down underneath it and everything. I did that because it's fiberglass, and it's thick fiberglass, what they call glass glass. You know. Anyway, that's an old sailboat term too. And so I thought about it for a couple days. And that's a good way that I like to do things. If I'm not sure how to do something right away, and usually if I think about it 2 or 3 days, sometimes 3 or 4 days, I can think about the best way to handle the problem. So I thought about physics, and I thought about a lever and a fulcrum. And that is like an uneven seesaw, like the kids play on these seesaws, one gets on each end. Well, a lever and a fulcrum is like if you have one part way down one side, and you have one kid sitting at that end, and another kid, the big heavy kid, jumps down on the other side, then he can fling the little kid up in the air because it's the laws of physics. A lot more force, the longer the pole, the more force you have. And so I was thinking about that theory and that not really theory, that law of physics. And so I got a pretty long pole, and I stuck it under there, and I tried it, and it just a little bit start to and snap. The pole snapped. So it was okay, well that was a wooden one, but it wasn't that thick. So I got a bigger wooden one, and that snapped as well. So I said, okay, I'm done fooling around now. So I got a steel one. And I put that in there. And if that didn't pop that thing out just as beautiful and beauteous as anyone could see, I don't know what. Because it sure did. And I was so proud. I was just proud as a peacock. I was like, it still had a couple little dents in it that I could easily get out, but the main big part where it was all stowed in, dented in, that was gone. That was right back. It went right back to the way it was when it was new. And I said, well, how about that? I did it. Anyway, I'm going to have to go. Been on here for too long. And again, love you all. Thank you if any of you still listening and enjoying any of this. And, do a thumbs up if you can.